Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of Bareham Engines. Right, what we got going on in the workshop today, and a little bit of a change around here. So outside, which is going today, and the only reason it is outside is one, it's wrapped up over there, and two, it is being collected today. So that is the Cosworth there for Mark, which we've done, all wrapped up, the engine's bagged up, and that's ready to go with all his new bits. So job done, Mark's paid for that, he's a diamond. This is the one that Paul was doing. Yesterday I put the cylinder head on this. This is the Mark III Focus RS. We are waiting for a timing chain kit, which is going to arrive tomorrow, as is the timing, the kit, which we didn't have, so we've ordered that. That's arriving tomorrow. And we need to get that one done and off to Kyle and his friend, because they've got a show on Saturday, so hopefully I think they're going to get that in by then. But yeah, that's all we're waiting for on that, guys. We've got a few bits to put on there, but Paul is in tomorrow, so hopefully we can get that one done. We've swapped that one over to there, where the Cosworth was, obviously, and then put Isaac on here with his MR2. So where is Isaac with the MR2 now? You see he's put all the pistons on the rods, he's sized and balanced the rods, he's balanced the pistons. You can see there, I think these were about 3 grams different, these pistons, and you can see where he's removed material out the base. So yeah, top job there. He's got all those within 0.5 gram, which is excellent. Block is all prepped here, and there's all these other little bits. So this is going to be Isaac's. I think he's a little bit nervous about this, but I'm going to guide him along the way. We've got some vernier pulleys to set up at the end of it, so I'm going to be showing him how to do that, so that'll be great. Where the Cosworth was, we've got the Focus Mark I RS on here, which is, as you know, a 2-litre Duratec basically. So we've got to strip this one. I'm not sure whether this one's had an issue or it's just a refresh with some trick bits. I'm not sure yet. I've got to give the owner a call, but looking forward to getting in amongst that, and that is going to be going over there when the Mark III is done. And then we've got the VX220 Vauxhall engine, which I'm looking forward to getting in amongst, because we've only ever seen cylinder heads of these, never been involved with the bottom end, but I think that wants some fairly funky bits in it. So yeah, looking forward to getting involved with that. But what is this in the middle, guys? As I've said to you before plenty of times, you do get issues. Obviously, what you see on camera, I know a lot of people say, they get a lot of warranty issues and there's a lot of problems, this, that, the other. You've got to bear in mind, guys, we turn a lot of work around, and not all of it is on the camera, not by far. But one thing I did say to you guys from the very beginning of this channel is we were not going to keep anything from you. So this here is one of those things. So if you remember a few, 2, 3, 4 months ago maybe, we had a customer called Ken Newton, and Ken has got a P4 Rover with a 6-cylinder in it, which we rebuilt, and Ken actually turned up. It was the one with the blue and yellow white roof, all the livery on, really nice car, and he was absolutely over the moon with it. Well, we've sprung a bit of an issue. He's run it in, obviously, he's done quite a few miles, but it's started to smoke. He said it did smoke a little bit on the overrun to start with, but we put that down to just more bedding in, but it has got progressively worse. So unfortunately, Ken's had to pull the motor out. Obviously, you can see the cylinder head's off. The cylinder head we have gone through, obviously done the guides and everything, but this is now sort of smoking quite badly. So we've had a look at the bores, and you can see it's fairly oily. There's quite a lot of oil up in those bores. We've measured the bores just as they are at the moment, just to make sure. It was bored to +20 to start with, and we've measured them, and we're about 1/2 thou over that, which is absolutely perfect. So without having the pistons out, we've measured what of the bores we can, and they measure absolutely fine. So we are suspecting at this stage we may have a ring issue. These are a JE piston. John, funnily enough, Ken said he's had an issue with JE. We've never really had an issue with JE pistons. They've always been on the good side of the quality, but Ken said he had a problem with JE rings once on an engine, and he swapped them for some AE, I think it was, and the problem was gone. John said the oil control ring was the design of it, you've got the two outers that go on the inner bit that sort of pushes the outers out, and he said they did feel sort of tight going in the bores, and by some of the markings we've got, they're not actually scratches, but you can just see where it looks a bit like when the pistons are running tight, but obviously they're not, because we've got, you know, more than enough running clearance. So at this stage, guys, it's going to be sump off, pistons and rods out, and we're going to be having a thorough measure and checking those rings. We obviously did do the ring gaps and all that. So I can only think at this stage we have a bit of an oil control ring issue. So yeah, like I say, not going to keep it from you. This is a proper warranty job. It's an engine we went through completely, and we've got an issue. So we shall get the sump off, get the pistons and rods out, and see what we can find, guys. Right, you lovely lot, you must be wondering what this thumbnail and title is all about today, the drama. So this is to do with the court threats for the MGB. So this is the MGB that we did, that we found out really was probably the PCV valve, etc. A lot of you guys put down in the comments that's what you said it would be. Even people that specialised in them and was in the know. Just to sort of recap back a little bit, I won't go into the entire thing with the MGB. You'll have to go back and watch the videos about that. But the owner of the vehicle, bear in mind we were doing the engine for a garage who the owner went to. So they were sort of piggy in the middle, if you like. They were our customer, have been for a while. We basically did the engine, ended up smoking like a train, and when we got it back in, we stripped the engine just to check everything and what have you. The rings, I must admit, didn't look like they were bedding in very well. We had some sort of glaze on the bores, etc. But we did find a faulty PCV valve. Now, the garage kicked right off about this, saying that it was the rings, and there were cracked rings, all the rest of it. But we suspect that the problem was the PCV valve. Obviously, with that faulty, you're not going to be able to set the carburetor up right, and it's going to be running rich, is what we thought. Anyway, it's gone back to them. Once we rectified the engine, they wanted the engine back, sort of as it was. They were going to put the carbs on, all the rest of it, but we just sort of chucked it together and it was running, but we give it back to them with the intention that they were going to do all the things. Anyway, the customer paid direct, so he wanted it changed into his name, the invoice. So now the owner of the vehicle was our customer. So he's come back saying, several months later, saying that he wants us to pay for 2 bills. Now, apparently what had happened is the car had gone from that garage. We had a report come with the first letter, with the invoice. The invoice was only for sort of $312.50 plus the VAT, but there was a list of various things that they said was faulty, like there was oil leaks, water missing out of the header tank, the carburetor fluid was not in it. Well, we just took them off and put them back on as they were, so if anything was missing, it was what they did. But we just literally chucked it back together, and that they were going to put it back together. You know, he wanted to run through it and check everything. So that's how they had it back. But he was charging his customer. He sent him a bill for this. Then our customer, who's now the owner, wanted us to pay for this bill. So the car has gone to this Classic Cars, who apparently are an MG specialist. The garage that was originally our customer didn't want to get involved with it anymore. They said that the engine that we did was substandard. So we paid Classic Cars bill that was sent to us. That was about 300 odd quid, similar sort of money. So I suspect what they did was what the original garage didn't want to do. So that's what we do. But we've still got this bill, this outstanding bill from the original garage, so they have billed our customer now, and he doesn't want to pay the bill. He thinks we should pay that. And he sent 2 or 3 letters since. Obviously, the last one, when I did a last video, was threatening us with court. He said if it's not paid by the 15th of August, which was yesterday, he was going to start the court proceedings. Now, he has sent me 2 or 3 letters. Bearing in mind, originally, when we did the engine, we were dealing with him through email. I've been responding. He said that we can respond through email. I've been responding through email, but unfortunately, I've had no reply from him. And it turns out that there's a spelling mistake in the email address. So yeah, there's one letter that's different. So I've only just realised that. I've realised because I got another letter a couple of days ago stating that he is going to be starting the court proceedings if we don't pay the garage. And I'm thinking, well, I'm not going to be, even if I was going to pay, which I'm not, I wouldn't pay the garage because he's now our customer, so he needs to bill me. You can't take me to court for not paying someone else's bill to him. It's like, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, I've stated on the email, I actually wrote him a letter first of all stating why we're not going to be paying it, and basically the reason why we're not going to be paying it is because one, we've paid Classic Cars bill, which was for rectifying these things under goodwill really, but we're not paying their bill because, well, two reasons. One, because that's how they wanted the car back. They wanted it back with all these they wanted it back less than what we give it to them really, so they were going to be doing all the checks and sorting all that. And secondly, we didn't send them a bill for what we thought was the original reason why it was smoking, and that was the PCV valve. As I said to you before, my suspicion is that when we found the problem with this PCV valve, he's crapped himself a little bit and thought it needs to be them rings. So that's why when he came in to inspect the engine, when it was all in bits, he didn't look at any of the engine. He just literally went straight over to the rings. He said they're like 50p's, absolute rubbish. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do agree with him that the rings weren't bedding in correctly, but that could be down to it over-fueling because the balls were very glazed. So anyway, that's where we are. Looks like he's going to be taking me to court because I'm not paying it. So we'll have to report back, see how we get on, guys. But at the moment, I'm just still waiting for a reply via email. Now I've forwarded all the correct emails on the correct email address. So let's see what comes of it. I'll let you know. Right, so got both my boys in today, look. So happy about this. Isaac's cracking on with the MR2, look, he's done the short motor there. He's got the head to go on, so not too much more to go, I don't think. So the Mark III Focus RS, we're just waiting for the timing kit, so fingers crossed that turns up this morning. I did go yesterday and borrow, as you've seen in my second channel, I did go and borrow the timing tools. We have noticed there's a crack in the pickup ring for the cam sensor, so I've had to order a new one of them, 11 quid from Ford. But as you can see, you've got that timing tool there, which goes in the back of the cams, and we've had to remove the drive out the back of there, which is that one there. So that is them two locked up. When we get the timing ring for the pickup, you see that timing mark there goes at 12 o'clock, and the same on this one, so we know where to line that up. In the front, we've ordered 2 new bolts because they've just done up on a torque. There's no keyway in those camshafts there. And down the bottom, there's a pin that goes in the crank and sits up against the web on the crankshaft, and so the crank can't turn anymore. So yeah, as soon as we get that chain, we get it all on, get it torqued up, get the sump on, front cover, a few bits, and that is it. But until that turns up, we've got Paul doing the S50 motor.
Hello, mate.
Hello, mate.
Just trying to make my...
So what's going on?
Well, doing a bit of cleaning.
A bit of cleaning.
Really. So I'm cleaning the oil pump.
Of course he is.
Oil pump's on. Look at that.
Oil pump's on. Look, it was looking pretty grotty this morning, but when Paul's got it apart, it's not too bad, is it?
It's fine. It was just grotty on the outside. It was fine. None of the gears were worn at all. So
bit of a sticky relief valve, so it's a good job we stripped it.
Very sticky relief valve.
Very sticky.
Yeah, so that's all done, and then just cleaning this filter housing up.
Yeah.
Going to bolt this bad boy on in a sec. Give this a lick of paint.
And then it's Meccano, isn't it? See which bits go where.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get this one finished, really. Put aside, out the way, so we've got one, we've got the bay back, and 2, it's ready to stick in the hole.
Stick in the hole, yeah.
I've got to order a timing kit because Chris Ince has only got the S54 one.
Can't be that much.
I have to order a timing kit.
Can't be that much, is it?
No. All right.
I mean, once you've got one, you got it. If you can do one, do
Got
another
it.
one.
That's it. Then we're BMW experts. Then S50 experts. Isn't it? Still got a big box here of grubby stuff. I ain't got a clue where all that goes, Paul. You?
Just all ancillaries, isn't it? All the other bits of bolt around the engine.
Yeah.
But I should imagine it's probably best if we probably put that on once it's in the L, because it'll be easy to get in.
More looking forward to getting the throttle bodies on.
I mean, that was the first thing you cleaned, the throttle bodies, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
First thing went the
but it
vapour
needs,
blaster.
it needs.
It needed it, didn't it?
It needed it,
Yeah.
and it needs you to go through it and clean it.
It needs to be
thoroughly.
clean. But the main important thing is it's clean and it looks good.
Yeah, it does look very good.
And
Looking
the rough
forward to
cover looks
getting them
lovely
on.
as well, doesn't it?
Thank you,
That's
mate.
the second thing we got cleaned.
Thank you, mate. It does look good, doesn't it?
Nice skim, the barium lit.
Nice skin. Important question, Paul. What colour do you reckon we should do the inlet plenum? And don't say carbon fibre.
I don't know.
Black or silver?
I would say probably black.
I'd say black.
Yeah, because you don't want too much silver. Now black likes to break up the colours a little bit.
Yeah.
It'd be nice.
Go with black then, Isaac.
What's that for? The manifold?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think black will be alright.
Nice.
We could paint the pistons black while we're here if you want. Just
Do it all black.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Coming on well.
It's in capable hands of Paul.
Coming on very well.